Texas has actually quite a bit of coastline, all the way from Louisiana down to Mexico, along the Gulf of Mexico. Where I stayed at last night, you can definitely tell that it was an area where it was impacted by a hurricane. There was a lot of chopped up pavement, so I'm assuming at one time that was actually a road. And when the storm rolled through, they just kind of left it there. Also, from what I've seen so far, it's not like the beaches on the East Coast. I hate to say it, but they're actually quite dirty. They're not cleaned very well. There's not like parking. It's just kind of, if you have four-wheel drive, you drive out on the beach, because the sand's actually pretty hard, but not very well maintained so far. Well, gas isn't that bad here. Get my keys out of my pocket. It's not as great as Louisiana, but it's $4 here. In Louisiana, it was about $3.50. But it's also because I think I'm closer to the beach and on this like little island. So another nice thing about Texas is driving on the highway. You can go like, the speed limit's 80. So that's a little intimidating because I don't really like driving that fast. I'm actually like the one that everyone passes on the highway. I'm that person. Just because I'd rather be safe than, you know, get in an accident. Lots of RVs in Texas, at least along the beach anyway. I guess it makes more sense to have an RV. Like, I don't even see that many hotels, but there's just a ton of RV parks. And like I said, I guess that makes more sense because if a bad storm comes through, you can just load it up and take it out. But yeah, not a lot of hotels, not even a lot of houses, just a lot of places where you can park an RV. Interesting. I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before, and I'm going to be taking a car ferry into Galveston. It's just the easiest way to get from where I'm at into there. So it's free from what I understand, and the ferry runs every 20 minutes or so. I think it takes about 20 minutes to get across. So I'm going to try it out. Hopefully it goes well. And I think once you get on and once the boat moves, you can get out and walk around and look at stuff. So let's see how it works. Well, easy enough so far. Look what I found. He's a little shy. How beautiful. Wow. I'm gonna go ahead and put him back down. Well, it is day 2 here for me in Galveston, and last night I spent the night in one of those RV parks that I was talking about yesterday. To give you a little bit more information about that, I talked to the guy in the office, and so you can stay at them like a campground, but a lot of the time people actually live there full-time. So with all these big oil companies around here, you have cruise lines that come into this area, you have fishers, you know, a lot of marine type jobs, you have landscaping and road work, all those types of industries. You know, people bounce around from place to place. So a lot of times what people will do is they will buy an RV, they will find one of these parks, they'll park there, you get, you know, water, electric, free trash disposal. This place even had Wi-Fi, and for $450 a month, you have, you know, you're set, and it beats an apartment, which is, you know, $1,100, $1,200 a month. So this is what a lot of these people do. There's whole families that live in these RVs. There's single guys that live in these RVs. But then there's also people that retire and just live like that. And, you know, in the case of a bad storm coming through, they hitch up to their truck and they drive to somewhere better. So it really makes sense. I was really shocked by, it wasn't until I got into Galveston that I actually started seeing hotels. But in and around that, it's just nothing but these RV parks, and some are really big, and they're just kind of out in the middle of a field, and there are these big concrete slabs that you park on, and yeah, you hook up to the utilities, and you know, you're there until it's time to go, I guess. But very interesting to stay in one, because, well, my little van took up maybe a sixth of this concrete slab, and I had to get as close as I could to the power box so I could get my my extension cord connected to it. But you know, it was just interesting. It feels like a mobile home park more than a campground, but pretty cool. So today I'm going to a railroad museum, Galveston Railroad Museum, and there's also right next to that is called, I believe it's called the Strand, but it's a historic shopping district, some nice restaurants. So I'm going to walk around that. It's a beautiful day so far. It's about 72, 73. Sun's out. So let's get to driving. the Railroad Museum was very nice. It was $12 for one adult. There's a lot of things to see on the outside. There's a few rail cars and a couple engines outside. They had a beautifully restored sleeper car, which is just, I just find that so fascinating. Again, just going back to that time period of, you know, the 20s, 30s, 40s. Man, just really cool, very small, very tight. I can't even imagine, you know, that whole thing full of people traveling. But quite a few exhibits. The inside, so the building, the big building that you see is actually the original Galveston train terminal. The bottom main lobby is all original. It's been restored to how it would have looked, you know, in its heyday, which was really cool. Nice little gift shop. All in all, really not bad. And it's right next door to the Strand, so I just stayed parked at the Railroad Museum, which is free, and then I walked the Strand, which is about, I don't know, maybe 5 blocks, and there's restaurants, there's shops, there's souvenir places. I mean, just that kind of like boardwalk, shopping district type feel area. A lot of historical buildings. The Opera House, Texas Opera House, is down there. I didn't get a chance to go inside that, but that looked interesting. But Galveston has actually been really, really nice. So that is it for my time in Galveston, and I highly recommend that everybody comes here, at least visits once. And I'm continuing down the southeastern coast of Texas. Next will probably be Corpus Christi area, and then making my way into the Padre Islands National Seashore. So I'm really excited for that. That will end this video, and I will see everybody on the next one. Take care.